Acknowledge that I see you, and Ashley's about to get us started.
Go ahead and get
We're
started.
at 10:02, so.
Yeah, we're going to do things a little bit backwards today. So we've got Shantae for our opening thoughts and Nate for our parting thoughts today, but we're gonna actually switch them because both of them have appointments at the time that they were supposed to be talking.
Terry.
So Shantae should be able to hop on here towards the end, and Nate's gonna start us off today. But before we get started, since we have Hillary in here doing the show, we've got Hillary and Terry. Hillary's looking to join our team, so I want to go over a little bit of what is Team Limitless. So these are just some words that we use to describe our team: united, abundance, integrity, growth, creativity, altruism. And then these are some other words that we've all come up with together: collaboration, family, comfort, support, responsiveness, attention, producing, discipline, and accountability. So that's what
all good words right there.
Our team is
I feel
about.
better already.
And then better agent experience. We're creating a better agent experience for our clients by providing service above and beyond their expectations. Other agents through trainings and social networking events. We will attract other agents that are looking for a better agent experience. Our communities by supporting local individuals, businesses, and charities. We are more than just realtors ourselves with the opportunities at Team Limitless and eXp Realty. And then some words things we've come up with each other are that we create a better agent experience for each other and also for the industry as a whole.
You know, this has been a really good talking point for me and for some of you guys too, just with what we do. And it was kind of funny when we were at the holiday launch, you know, for the Northern agents here for eXp. It was just last week. One of the agents came up to me. I've only met him once, but the first thing he said to me is, "So are you still out there creating a better agent experience for others?" Isn't that awesome? And I haven't talked to him in 5 years.
Yeah, cool. So we are going to have Nate start us off today. These are our parting thoughts, but we're doing them in the beginning. So he's going to give us like our focus for the next week and just some things to think about for next week. You want to take it away, Nate?
Yes, helps if I unmute the microphone. Okay, so this is the quote on the screen is the one I have on my dream board. And don't mind me, I'm gonna read because I didn't have time to memorize what I wrote. What this quote taught me is that success and fitness, as other things in life, are a choice. And made it so I could have the thought process to choose to have discipline to exercise, choose to eat healthy, make choices that to do activities that could make me successful and not to quit. I choose to have the discipline to be fit and successful rather than have the regret of not being healthy or successful. And the quote, I'll read that real quick. We must all suffer from one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And the difference is discipline weighs ounces while regret weighs tons. And so the focus for this week, think of some things you regret not having the discipline to do or not do. That was really your choice. I have several things in my life that were my choice that I didn't have the discipline to continue or to do. And I regret that now. And that's part of this is I'm correcting that. So this week, write down your main goal from one of those and have the discipline to do it or not to do it. Then write down the goals to get there, work backwards to start and then begin. And then in closing, some small discipline choices can change your life with great outcomes rather than having the regret of not having what was possible. Sorry, I'm not the greatest like reader for.
Nate, who's Jim Ron?
Jim Rohn.
What's that?
Who's Jim?
Yes, Jim Rohn,
Who is that?
the guy that wrote the quote.
The guy that wrote the
Big
quote. So Jim
deal.
Rohn was actually Tony Robbins' coach. Tony Robbins worked for Jim Rohn when he was just getting started. Yeah, he was the Tony Robbins of his time. Right? Very motivational. He's got a lot of stuff like this. I love him. He's got a lot of great stuff.
Hey, could you? Is there any way you could post the letter I sent you, Ashley? Because that
Yeah.
looks a lot better than what I read.
Yeah, I will, in our Facebook group, I'll go ahead and post like a little recap of team meeting and I'll include, what he wrote up. So we all know what our focus is for the week.
Perfect. Thank you. That's awesome.
Yes, awesome, awesome.
This is one of my favorite quotes too, Nate. I heard it in my early 20s, and just making that comparison of you have to choose one or the other, right? Either you're disciplined enough to go after what you want, or you're going to regret that you did. So even sometimes just trying and failing takes away that regret because you made an effort, but you can't go back and say, I wish how many people look, I wish I would have when I was younger. I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have tried. I wish, and it reminds me of another quote. I don't think it's Jim Rohn. I can't remember who said it, but it goes that life is the C between B and D. So what that means is B is birth, D is death, and C is choice. That's all our life is. We can make a choice every single day. We can pivot today and go a completely different direction than our current trajectory is taking us on, right? At any moment, we can just make a new choice.
Lynn, did you have something to add? Oh, someone just walked in the office. Okay.
Anybody else have any thoughts on that before we move on?
Good stuff. Swing the bat.
That's right, baby.
Baseball.
I love it.
I love this too, because one of the things that Tony Robbins does in his training, and I'm sure he learned it from Jim Rohn, but he uses since this is Christmas time, this is so it fits, but it's the Scrooge effect. And I don't know if they call it the Scrooge effect, but it basically is anything in your life that you want to improve on, and let's just take weight loss because that's always a big one for a lot of people. But he says, picture yourself as if you had the discipline to lose the weight, gain the muscle, look fit, look sexy, you've done what you set out to do, and then go in and go to what it would have been like if you didn't, like if you just lost complete control of your life and you didn't make good choices, and look at what you would have looked like. And it, okay, I'm overweight, I'm obese, I can't do things with my kids, I'm missing out. And what he has you do is you visualize both of these and let yourself feel what it would feel like if you had done what you want to do, so that when you're in the goal setting and then the discipline to do the goals, you feel how great it feels. And then he has you do the opposite, like what the ghost did with Scrooge. How does it feel to have gained all the weight? What does it feel like not being healthy? What does it feel like? And let yourself feel those emotions that go along with it. Because one of the key things that Tony teaches is you have to have emotion in these decisions that we're making so that it becomes more realistic to you. And I love it. Absolutely love it, because you can sit there and bawl your eyes out seeing yourself completely 5 years, 10 years in the future, not having done what you were supposed to do, and that guilt weighing a ton. Oh my gosh, you feel it. It's realistic. And it helps you to go to the discipline, and he has you go back to it and think about, what does it feel like to be healthy? What does it feel like to run with your grandkids? What is it? And I love it. Absolutely love this. Thank you for sharing that, Nate.
Oh, you're welcome. I do have one more comment on it. Something I'll admit real quick. My wife thinks it's funny. She kind of jokes with me about it. But to what you just spoke of, I actually do have that, and I do have the regret. So, in my early 30s, I gained the discipline, I guess you could say, after being overweight for quite a while. I was 330 pounds. Uh, and for 2 years, I worked off the weight and lost a total of 160 pounds. And I held it off for about 4 years. So on my dream board, along with this new quote that I have up, is a picture, a selfie of me uh, with six-pack abs and cut chests.
Love it.
So, and then I also have pictures not up, but of me before that, when I was like really big. I'm in all my riding gear, leathers. We were at a Salem of Harley or motorcycle event. I was like, it was like 105 degrees. I got leather. I'm overweight. I'm sweating. Yeah, it's a terrible picture, but it's a good reminder of regret. But yeah, so I've got that picture up, and that was about 10 years ago, probably. Well, thank you for letting me share all that and putting up with my reading in between what I wrote instead of just reading what I wrote.
You're good.
I think that was awesome, Nate. And Kim, what a great contribution to Nate's thoughts on that. And I just want to mention one more thing that to tie those two things together, because Nate's talking about choice, and we can make a decision ahead of time to either put up with the discipline or know that we'll have future regret, right? Another thing that has been applicable in my life that I learned young was hearing somebody complain about their life that was much older than me, and they were whining about everything, their relationships, their kids turned out to be a disaster, they didn't have a good job, this and that, this and that. And he kept saying, I wish I could do it all over again. And somehow, some way in my mind as a young kid, it stuck in my mind, what if this is my do-over? What if this is my second chance? What if I totally effed everything up and I'm his age and I'm bitching and whining like he is, that my relationship sucked, my life is in shambles, and I wish I could do it over again. And just that mind shift of, hey, don't screw it up. You really fucked it up last time. Don't screw up this time. Gave me a very good focus on the choice, some of the choices that I had to make. So anyway, thanks, Nate, Kim, that was awesome.
Lynn, you've got 30 seconds if you want to add something. Then we're moving on.
Chop, chop.
You can cut into the next part.
I was just going to say thank you so much for what you shared, Nate and Kim. Super motivational for me today. And it's nice to actually get to know what your inner thoughts are and get to know you a little bit better. And so you sharing, those struggles and those things that you're going through, and also those goals that you have. I had pictures of women with abs in my closet for years. And I would look at that every day because that's where I wanted to get. So, those things work. Not that I have abs right this second, but maybe 2024.
That's good stuff. Thanks, Nate.
Thank you.
And on to our recognition, we've got 2 new agents. We've got Gabrielle, I don't know how to say her last name, Huser, and Brett Bonner. We've got Utah and Oregon. I don't think Shantae's not on yet, but Gabrielle's part of her team. And then there's all our cappers. We didn't have any new people added on this week for that. And then Eric wanted to say a little something to Nate.
Yeah.
He's like,
That's funny.
Yes, I did.
yes, I did.
So Nate's been
Yeah.
Nate's been sharing some of his successes and challenges with me recently, and I just wanted to celebrate and say congratulations to Nate for just having an incredible last couple months, couple closings, pendings. He's got a listing or 2, and he's just doing awesome. And it's just perseverance and just trusting the method and the dedication and time can pay off over time. So great job. It's a slower market right now. So I mean, for you to be a newer agent and starting to get momentum now when the market is slow will pay off in a huge way when it turns around soon too. So great job.
Congrats, Nate.
Thank you.
Yeah, that momentum, it takes a while to get going, but once it gets going, it's easier to glide, right? So keep it going.
I'm a late bloomer.
That's awesome.
You know, though,
That-
it
that-
shows, I was just gonna say, it shows determination works. Because you plug in and you go after it and you don't give up.
Yeah, I love it. And I love that Eric reached out to Jeff and I to say that he wanted to share that and congratulate Nate on Monday Mastermind. So if you guys have anybody that you recognize doing anything awesome, shoot me a text and I'll put it in this section and we can recognize people every week.
Yeah, for sure.
And now Jeff is gonna go over some market conditions. He's got some stuff to show us.
I can share my screen.
Yeah, go ahead. Do I need to stop sharing first?
Probably. It's not letting me do
Okay.
anything.
Go ahead.
This will stop. Sorry, awkward transition. So I just wanted to not necessarily talk about the market.
We can't see him.
Oh, am I not sharing?
No, it's. Oh, I just need.
Oh, I'm just sharing my screen. Can you guys see my screen or you still see Ashley's
No,
slide?
they can see yours. I need to just share mine up there.
Oh, gotcha.
Sorry.
So these guys can
This
see.
is the first time we've done a flip flop. So,
So my computer's been giving me the middle high finger for a little while and just disconnecting from the screen share right during our presentations. So Ashley's taking control of that. Okay, cool.
okay.
So my talking point on this is not necessarily to go over stats and the current market conditions, but to kind of give you some talking points on how to converse with your clients about that. Because when people say how's the market, they're just talking about today. How's the market today? What you want to get to is how is that relevant to their real estate decisions? Right. So whatever they think the market is today is being compared to some point in the past that they have a frame of reference to, whether they have the pain or regret that Nate was talking about, and they wish they would have bought in 2020, or they wish they would have bought more, they wish they never would have sold their house. Things are really, really tough right now. So our job to educate them and show them that back through the several decades, if you're only looking at that snapshot in time and you're comparing to the past, that market is going to seem worse than the previous, right? We have, recessions, we have interest rates going up. We have a lot of negative news right now, but when you talk to them about their goals, that's more relevant. And then you can get down to the micro. When people want to know about the market, don't talk generalizations. They can feel the get the national news. How is that relevant to them? So I just kind of wanted to talk on that for a minute and get your guys' opinion on the conversations that you guys are having. But I just simply pulled up a couple of sites that you all can find. You can all do market research. You can find stats on your local market. So like the Utah housing market right now is in a really weird position, right? Our inventory is super, super low. Interest rates are high, but yet things are sitting on the market, right? Because there's fear and there's uncertainty in the market and people don't know what to do. You know what they need? They need you. They need a guide, somebody to say, I got you. Let's do this together, and educate them that they're going to be protected through the process.
I'm just gonna share the link in the chat.
All right. Yeah, I can put there's a couple
I just
more.
copied it.
It's just, yeah. There's, like I said, there's lots of different sites. I just wanted to pull this up to show you, some of the trends where you can go and get market conditions based on the person you're talking to. Talking in generalizations, I hope you make the point that you're talking in generalizations and then referencing, let's have a conversation to get really, drilled down on what your goals are in real estate.
Well, I like that point too about generalizations, because one thing that I've noticed is anytime I hear someone ask my dad, how's the real estate market? He always responds with, it depends. Depends on where you're looking. It depends on what,
Or I'll say, what market are you
price
talking
range.
about?
Yeah. So
That's such a general question. How's the market?
and someone wants you to give you
Yeah.
a specific answer, it's like, it totally
We talked
depends.
about housing prices, interest rates,
Right.
inventory.
Yeah. Let me show you a site that we have here in a local newspaper. Do they even do physical newspapers anymore? Or is it all online?
Yeah.
Do you remember
I think they do.
clipping this out when we were young real estate folks?
parents, look at it.
So the Salt Lake Tribune puts out quarterly stats, and you can go back by year. Look, this goes clear back to 2003. A site like this or information like this to where you can go back to show your buyer or your seller what I'm talking about. Like when they say, how's the market today? You can now compare it to previous markets and then make your arguments on they're making their decision based on their future, not necessarily what real estate was in the past. You just do another link. So for instance, what do I have up here right now? I'm on 2019. Let's look at Alpine. You see Alpine dropped 5%. So in 2019, people thought that housing in Alpine was doing really bad, right? You can see these up and down arrows. It shows the median price, how many homes were sold. So Alpine down 5%. Now just right next to Alpine's American Fork, up 11%, the same quarter. So when somebody says, how's the market? They're both in Utah County. Are they looking at an American Fork or are they looking at Alpine? That information alone, though, doesn't tell them what they should do with their decision to buy or sell. It's what their goals are. So now let's just move forward.
Can you zoom in on that a little?
I don't know. How would I?
Here.
Hit this? It
Yeah, hit that.
says a relaunch.
No, this isn't the way, but there's a zoom right there. I just don't know if anybody can see it, it's so tiny. Oh, there we go.
No, how do I move it? Quit breaking my momentum.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so
With these things.
let's just look at Alpine, okay? Negative 5%. 2020, 0.4%. So you can say, oh, we're on the rise, right? But still, somebody isn't going to be too impressed by that. But look at American Fork. It was 11%. Now it's 21%. So American Fork, you would think would be the up and rising place to buy, right? But now 2021, here comes Alpine back, went from 0.4 to 28.9%. 2022, 54% median price increase. 2023, down 13. That's all over the place, right? We went from like a negative 5 or 6 or whatever that was to a 0.4 to 50 something percent. So again, to your conversations with people, let them know that you want to talk about their specific needs, their specific market, and what their goals are with their real estate, because all of this is just confusing. Look at all these up and down arrows and real estate's all over the place. 2020 COVID happened. Everybody thought, everything was going to crash. And it happened to be one of our highest years in growth historically, right? So find news to talk about, to have conversations, because this is what everybody's seeing, right? Utah's housing shortage is expected to actually worsen. They don't know what that means. They need your commentary and your opinion on what they're seeing in the news, because they can find this information themselves. So affordability is a real factor right now. But do you think it's going to get worse or better? If the housing shortage is going to get worse, is that going to make Utah housing more affordable or less affordable? Right? So looking at today is just a baseline to gather information to make a decision based on what your future goals are. If you're buying a house for your family, can you really be that concerned about what the interest rates are today versus what they were 3 years ago? Or do you want to lock in today's equity position on that home, because as inventory goes down, prices still go up? I don't give a shit what the interest rates are doing. It's based on the inventory, and we're seeing that firsthand right now.
And if rates go up, you look like you made the right decision. If rates go down, you refi, so you have options either direction.
Yeah, and that's what they need to know. What if they don't have a,
Jeff, one of the things I always talk to my clients about is it's the consumer psychology piece, right? We're all buyers of everything, right? Whether it's a pair of Levi's, a car, groceries, but you get into this consumer mentality where you're always looking for the best deal, right? The best deal, the best deal. And that's great. You know, you should do that because that's how you manage your budget and you're getting the biggest bang for your buck. But when it comes to your house, your primary residence for your family, I think you've got to make a distinction there that, you know, you can't view that like, oh, I've got to get the best deal on the planet ever, or I'm not going to do anything. You have to weigh that against the utility of use and what you need for your family now.
Yep.
And I just think you've got to get people out of that consumer psychology like they're buying a pair of Levi's. This isn't a pair of Levi's. This is a house for your family, your kids, your home office, you know, all the stuff that you need to live. And you've got to get out of that. Oh, it's, you know, if I can't buy it at 2011 prices, I'm not buying. If I can't get it at 2.78 interest, I'm not buying. It's like, you know,
We've all had clients do
you are
that too.
screwing yourself by doing that because, yeah, anyway, that's what I try to get them to rethink is what are you actually buying? It's your primary residence.
Yep. So pull out some examples for them, guys, to help them really internalize what you already know. Like you guys hear me talk about my first property lot because it was my first property. I paid $48,500 for it. We still own it today. It's worth over 400. Would it have mattered if I felt like I got a good deal in 1992 or not? If my goal was to keep that property, the second home Lynn and I moved into, just a year later, we paid $59,000 for it. I sold it 4 years later for 160.
Yeah.
Would it have mattered if I would have paid 65 instead of 59? No. The next house we bought, we paid $219 for it in Draper. We just sold that in 2020 for almost 800,000. What if I would have paid 250? Oh,
and you know, Jeff, you know, the other thing to remind people of, you never realize a gain or a loss unless you transact, right? So if you're going to live in your house, who cares if it goes up or down a little bit? You're not going to be impacted by that anyway, right? You're not going to go sell it and take, you know, you're living in it for the utility of use. Yep. And it doesn't matter if it goes down 10 grand, if it goes up, it doesn't matter. You don't touch that money. So why are you concerned about it? So like you said, okay, you overpaid 10 grand. Who cares? If you show them a chart of real estate over 50 years, chances are they are not going to be underwater in 5 years.
And if it met their objectives and their goals. Right. Lynn and I, you know, moved to our next house in 2006. And then after the crash, property prices plummeted, right? And we could not have, if we would have had to sell our house, we would have been in a short sale situation because it was not bringing the buyers that would pay that much money for it. But we were able to make it through that transition. And now it's worth a hell of a lot more than it was in 2006 even. But there was that window in time where it's like, oh shit. But is that the time to panic and sell or fight and keep, right? So anyway, that's all I had on that. I just wanted to kind of point you guys in that direction when you're talking about the market, because people have questions about it. So get granular with them, ask them about their goals, ask them about their real estate needs and why they're even asking in the first place, and then find out what market they're actually talking about.
And Jeff, by having that conversation, what it does is it gives you the opportunity as the agent to display to your customers that you have a lot of knowledge about the market and that you can help them and that you're adding value. And they'll appreciate the questions and other than just, hey, can I list it, right? I mean, you're taking that.
Nate, you got your hand up?
Yes, I don't have a question about that, but I did have one more thing I wanted to contribute when I had my screen in front of me, if that would be all right.
Yes, absolutely.
So as you know, I've got a couple listings now, and I've been trying to dig deep and learning how to help my clients the best I can. And one of the things I was looking for is how I could show them how many people were viewing their home. And I found a place called List Track, which unfortunately my MLS does not carry List Track, or they're not connected, so I can't send those stats to my clients. So I looked for something else. And you guys may know this or you may not, I don't know, but on realtor.com, it's called dashboardrealtor.com manage listings. You can go in there and you can see all the views that your listings have had, and you can see where it breaks it down by week and by day and by area that the listing was viewed, and all the different websites that have viewed it. You can't see the website, but you can see the quantities of views. So let me get back to the right word. Search results and listing page views. Like it'll show how many it's had, like 18,000 views and 190 page views. But the cool thing is you can add context, and then those contacts, you can send those stats on a weekly schedule to your seller. So they're constantly once a week getting an update on how many users their home is seeing and where they're sitting in the market on whether there's poor end or average end or high end of views. I just wanted to share that.
That's awesome. Thanks for that, Nate. Yeah, you can't give too much information to your clients for sure.
So it's like a piece missing for me, and I was so happy to find it that I wanted to share it. All right. I will try to hop back on my phone. You all have a wonderful day.
Awesome. Thanks, Nate. Appreciate you.
See ya.
Bye.
Okay, we've got about 8 minutes to go, or we've got a couple minutes to go through, if anybody's got any buyer needs, new listings or open house opportunities. Can't find my notes. And then also wins and challenges are coming up next. So if anybody's got anything that they want to talk about with buyer needs, new listings, open house, or wins and challenges, we can do that now. We've got a few minutes for that.
Yeah, I can share a sales mistake that I made. I take full responsibility for this, right? So I'm gonna say it's
So
mine.
this is under the challenges
Yeah,
section.
under the challenges section. So just for everybody out there, like from a sales process and methodology standpoint, you know, whenever you're working with an organization or with people, so to speak, you know, you always have to know who the decision makers are, right? You have to know the org chart of the organization, you know, who's making the decision, who has the budget, all that kind of stuff. And I've been in sales a long time, and I made a classic mistake, which I've made before in my career, of only talking to one. Now, when you're doing a real estate transaction with a husband and wife, there's only two people on the org chart, right? And, you know, I was kind of convinced by the husband that, yeah, he's running the show, he's doing everything right. And yeah, I'll just deal with it. I probably should have pushed him harder to get his wife more involved in the process, because behind the scenes, she was involved. And I should have known that, right? And so what happened was, he comes to me, I'm talking to him, right? I'm not really including her on emails, texts, conversations, because he told me, hey, I'm handling it.
Right.
So here's what happened. Again, my fault. I should have pushed for that. He is working with me. She goes out, gets another agent.
No.
Because you're his agent.
And I'm his agent. I've got a buyer broker agreement with him. She's not on that. She goes out. Friend of her dad's real estate agent goes over, sees a new build in a model, boom, buys it over the weekend. And I've been working with him for a month and a half, right?
Oh, shit.
Well, then guess what happened? I'm like, hey, what's going on, guys? So husband and wife talk, the wife wins the battle, right? Sorry, Terry, you know, we're going with this other agent, right? So my problem.
Wow.
So anyway, just I guess a lesson in sales
So
methodology.
she didn't feel included in your process
you know,
with him.
right? But I had specifically asked him multiple times, "Are you sure Corey shouldn't be involved in this? Should we get her on?"
Mhm.
And he kept saying, "No, no, no." But so you know that was kind of the way it played out. But the lesson learned here is that if you are not making sure you're involving everybody in the decision process, that can happen to you, and that happened to me.
Yeah. Dang. Well, we learn our biggest lessons from our mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's learn from Terry's. Anybody else? Or are we done? Are we gotta move on? Where are we at?
If someone's got something quick, we could do one more. Anybody?
Welcome,
Shante?
Shante. Hey, Rhonda. I didn't say hi to you, Rhonda, when I saw you jump on.
Hello, how are you guys?
Good, awesome.
Fantastic. We're not.
Good morning.
No, not yet. Not yet. We'll move on though.
Okay, okay.
So just a recap on last week, our agent overview. We actually have Hillary in the office. She was in for the overview, and I put that down as like a win, is that we made a great connection with her. So super exciting to have you know, new people coming in the office and new people joining our team. And
No pressure.
yeah. Anyway, it was a good overview. I think Eric and Jeff are getting better each time. The presentation just gets better and better, and it's flowing better. So I just wanted to say good job on that.
Thank you, thank you.
Good, the good guys wear black team here. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Serious. Shoot. And then next week, we've got Josh
week.
Cavalier this week. I keep doing that. This week, we've got Josh Cavalier coming in for Build a Referral Based Business. He's going to walk through, he's got like an actual system that he uses for referrals. And so he's going to walk us through those like systematic techniques, which I think will be nice because you'll have something that, oh, and it's a 1 hour CE
For Utah.
for Utah.
And he's
Sorry.
he's a home warranty guy.
So he's with Silverback Home Warranty. Yeah, he's done a class for us on mindset.
Yep, mindset and habits.
Really good. I didn't even know he had these in his arsenal, but he's a really good, he's very passionate about this kind of stuff. And he's always come in and just sponsored lunch and somebody else's training. So we're excited to have him back. He does a really good job and he's just a good guy.
He's
just
fantastic.
That's a good topic in today's environment for sure.
Definitely something that we all want to increase in our business.
Hey, Matt.
Oh, I see.
Wait, we'll have you in a few minutes. We're just finishing up going through some upcoming events.
Yeah, of course. No, I love it. I'm watching right now.
Awesome.
Cool.
So our upcoming trainings, I've got the Anxious Agent coming up on the 20th. I'm super
Wow, look at
excited
the
about
Martians
it.
are dominating that page right there. I got
know.
2 of my daughters on there.
That's so funny. Yeah, so we're doing all the trainings now.
Yeah.
Just kidding. It just happened to be that way. So I'm doing a training, then we've got Christmas, then we've got another overview for the first week of January. And then Sydney's going to be doing an up level your brand with her new branding consulting business that she's doing, Soul Spark Creative. So that one should be a really good one too. And then we can
Her new business
skip
called
through
Soul
these
Spark
reminders.
Creative.
Yeah, it's a cool day. She's been doing a lot of branding coaching. She's doing a great job. And we have a special guest today. Most of you on this call know Matt Ashby. Matt is the one that jumped on Zoom and actually told me about EXP.
Me too.
4.5, almost 5 years ago. And then I pulled him in to tell Eric about it. And so anyway, we love you, Matt. We're excited to have you here. Matt's just going to kind of like, I think everybody knows him, but for those of you that don't know him, a little introduction there. And he's part of your EXP organization. He's my sponsor. He works with his dad, and you can see his brother as a team. Just amazing people. Are excited to have him here. He's really going to focus more on attraction. And so he wanted to kind of talk about their new Facebook group and collaborative movement and some resources that they have so that he can be a resource for you guys and help you grow your teams. Matt Ashby.
What is up, everybody? Jeff, how are you? Ashley, Lynn, I can't see everybody on the screen yet, but hello to everybody. I think I heard Eric. I'm assuming Eric's on here. Thank you so much for the invite, guys. It's a pleasure to meet you, and I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I'll give you kind of a brief introduction and share with you some resources that you can tap into and use at your own will and get involved. So my name is Matt. I am from Canada. I'm a Canadian. So I was just outside of Toronto, Ontario. Jeff, when you said 5 years, that just blew my mind because I think you're right. I think it is close to 5 years, which is wild. And this has been an incredible journey. So my story is I was in production and joined EXP in 2017, July of 2017, helped bring it to Canada. Within about 3 years, my revenue share started surpassing my transactional income. And that was a big awakening, like, oh my goodness, what is this thing's actually working, right? Like, this is crazy. And so I called my real estate coach and I said, Coach, my passive income is starting to surpass my transactional income. I can't do both. I'm burning out. I'm burning the candle on both ends. I'm doing a ton of team stuff here. I got my team, my production stuff, but I also have this revenue share and I'm kind of liking that a bit more at this time. And he said, Matt, you need to find somebody to take over your team. So I went and pulled my younger brother out from under the covers and said, okay, you're the team lead now. You're licensed. Let's go. And so he became my team lead. And so I dedicate now most of my time, 95% of my time, to helping agents create and build their wealth building pillars. And I call the wealth building pillars the stock and the revenue share. Now, I want to share with you, is it okay if I share my screen real quick?
Yes.
Is that okay? Am I allowed to? Okay. So
Yep.
not am I allowed to? Do I have the permission? I guess is better. So we created something called the 95.5 rev share training system. Now, this is a 3-year business plan to create $100,000 a year passive income. This is the exact blueprint we use to do so. Now, we have a free digital copy in the Facebook group that I'll send you. But if you want a paperback copy, they are on Amazon. And yes, that's $25. That's Canadian though. So that's like $9 US. So you'd be able to just get for super cheap and use it. And the whole purpose of the 95.5 is this. We wanted to create a duplicatable system. And as you guys probably know, because the revenue share is pretty powerful, a lot of people get, a little too excited about it. So we wanted to create a system that was production focused. So the 95 on there stands for 95% of your time focus on selling real estate, building your client list, building that invisible fence, and getting plugged into the incredible trainings Jeff and the family and everybody else is putting on. I'll share some other resources as well. And really focus on your business. But 5% of the time, do not ignore the wealth building pillars that are at this company. And this is one of the most crucial things where I have agents who are so focused on production. They're with us for 4 or 5 years. Then they call me and say, my biggest regret so far is that I never got tapped into any of the stock or the revenue share the way I should have. Okay, so don't let that be you in 5 years. So get your training program, the step-by-step. We broke it down exactly how it works. Now, with regards to support, my dad and I are full-time on explaining the EXP model. Okay, so the 95.5, even though I just explained what the 5% is spending your time, obviously, on the wealth building pillars. When I first joined EXP, I could care less about revenue share. I thought it was cool, but it was all about production. And I thought the stock was really exciting. Okay, my dad said, Matt, do not ignore that 5%. You can't ignore the wealth building pillar. So 5% of my time, I just referred agents to my dad who had come out of retirement. I was with Remax for years. It came out of retirement, joined EXP, and he learned how to present the EXP model, but I didn't have time to do it. So I would just refer. Okay, that's what happened in those 3 years, surpassed transactional income. And then now that's what I do. So I'm going to put my Calendly link up there. If you guys have agent attraction stuff that you'd like to focus on, you can always use me as a third-party validation. You can use me as a resource. Obviously, Jeff, Lynn, the whole family, and everybody else is incredible. But just know that there's much more additional support available to you that you can tap into on a daily, weekly, monthly basis as much as you need to, because my time's really focused now on doing financial cost analysis, explaining EXP and helping teams grow. And Jeff, I remember when we first started, I was coming in on these meetings every single week, did not skip, whether I was sick or not. I was on these meetings explaining and sharing EXP. So, and I will put my Calendly links in there, but before, because the easiest way to get my Calendly link is to join our Facebook group because they're already in there. So go ahead, look, it's called the Ashby Resource Group, EXP Realty Global. And the reason we did this was very simple. We have incredible team leaders and incredible agents and brokers and friends all over the US and Canada who are doing kind of their own amazing things, right? So he said, why don't we bring everybody together and we can share in this so that, everybody that is in your team can get involved with stuff that are going on in parts of Canada and other parts of the US, and your team can get plugged in. And so we created this Ashby resource page exactly for this purpose. Now, down below here, there is a Google Drive. So on this Google Drive, you're going to have the PDF version of the 95.5 Rev Share Training Program, PDF version of our book called The Wealthy Agent, A Revolutionary New Model for Real Estate. You're going to have access to basically a bunch of different things, and we're going to continually build this out. So I just got started on this. So it's not perfect. Okay, so no judging, but with your help, we're going to be able to help, build it up and continue to add as much value as possible. And what we found almost 7 years with the company as we've continued to grow is that, you know, there's things going on everywhere, right? And that we want to bring everybody together. But even with workplace, which everybody should be involved in, some agents just don't use it. Like it's like twisting their arms to use. I don't need it. Too much technology. They're like just a Facebook person, right? So that's why we did it on Facebook, not workplace. We get that question all the time to be able to do it. But in agent attraction here, we have a revenue share calculator, things about global cost analysis templates that we use to run our cost analysis. I'll be doing recordings that I'll be posting in the group on how I do cost analysis, so you can bring your team in. Obviously, the 95.5 training system, the wealthy agent, our video links. And we're in the midst right now. And I know I'm spitting a lot of information out. I just want to make sure that you guys have it all. And I think this is being recorded as well. So we're redoing all of our videos. Okay. If you guys are not familiar with the 3-step business evaluation, we're going to even make it a little bit more complicated. Okay. So we're going to do ones for Canada, ones for the US. Okay. Well, let's just focus on the United States one. So we're going to create 2 3-step business evaluations. One is focused on production only. Very little rev share, very little, mainly mainly production, a little bit of stock, a little bit of rev share. Because there are some agents who are brand new into real estate or a few years in the business, they could care less about rev share. They want to focus on putting signs on lawns, building their brand, and selling more real estate. So we want to focus what eXp has to offer for those things in a 3-step business evaluation. Now, if you don't know what a 3-step business evaluation is, that's one of our 7-minute videos, an 18-minute video, deeper dive. And then step 3 is actually a cost analysis with myself or a team leader or somebody who can share the eXp model and answer questions that you may not know about. The other 3-step business evaluation is for those, what I call experienced agents. Okay. My dad didn't like the word veteran. So we went experienced agents. So experienced agents, we're going to focus about probably 25% production, but then it's going to be, 33 or whatever the math is, mainly rev share, mainly stock, mainly retirement. Okay. How do we build that out? So there's going to be 3-step business evaluations, one for production and newer agents, if you will, and one for experienced agents. And we're going to be able to, we're going to be updating the links in here so you can upload them into your CRM Grow and be able to send them out. So we're just getting a little bit more detailed because we could create multiple webinars just on with the production side of things, what eXp can offer. And we could create multiple videos on just rev share and stock. Right. So we want to just split those up into 2. So you guys are going to have access to those probably the slides are being done right now, probably by January, middle of January that you can use. Exciting part is it's not going to be about us. We're going to have our own personal ones. We're going to be setting it up so you can shoot your own introduction video to these slides. Okay. So what that means is you shoot it. Hey, I'm whatever, Jeff, Marchand, et cetera. Welcome to a 3-step business evaluation. My business partner and I are excited to take you through your due diligence with eXp Realty. Let's get started. Then it goes into my video. Okay. So it's not about us. We want it to be about the agent and showing that we're partnered or aligned together, no matter where we are though. Okay. So lots of really cool things going on that we're focusing on for 2024. And so if you haven't already, go get into this group. We have over 2,000 agents, 1,900 in our team, over 2,000, probably 3,000 or 4,000 now below our 7 tiers. So there are agents that I will not be able to communicate with directly because I don't have their information, because I don't see their information if they're not within my 7 tiers. So this is why it's really important for you guys to share this with your team to get them plugged in so that they can get these additional resources. And sometimes I just send random stuff. Yesterday, I put in Gene Frederick's all new napkin presentation. Have you guys seen this video?
Oh yeah, it's great.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
it's really well done. If you have Keller Williams agents in your database, send them this, because this is The easiest and most simple down to earth explanation of why EXP is doing what they're doing. Okay. And we add some stuff in Gary Brecka. So anyways, there's lots of cool things that we put in here, and then I'll be doing a lot of things on like recordings, so that if you want to refresh or see how we do a cost analysis, see how we explain revenue share at the end of a presentation, you'll be able to plug into it. So that is what I wanted to share with you. Those are the main points. But I love, if you guys have any questions or how I can help you in any way, shape, or form, please, let's get them answered.
Hey man, I've got a question for you, Terry Morrison here. From your experience, since you've been doing this a while on the agent attraction, do you see I guess my perception is that when things are great and good, like they have been for the last, 5 years, people are kind of fat, dumb, and happy, to use, for lack of a better term. When things get a little bumpy in the market, like they've turned in the last, year, do you see more movement and more opportunity for movement of agents due to that fact?
Yeah, I've never been so busy. Oh, there you are. Okay, I wasn't too sure what screen you were coming in on.
He's in the office with us here.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was like, what is going on? Yeah, I can tell you right now, I have never been so busy in the 6.5 years of explaining what EXP is all about. Okay, not just with our team getting fired up, but even the personal agents I've been talking to. I think that the last few years, the market has been incredibly powerful and has made a lot of people a lot of money. If they were in real estate for a bit, a lot of sellers, a lot of buyers. And when money's really flowing in well, and you just can't keep up with the amount of buyers and listings you're working with, a brokerage move is not at the top of your list. Okay, it just isn't. And yet we've continued to grow as a company. Now that the market has slowed down, people are now able to take a breath and kind of understand, what is this stock stuff that EXP, why am I seeing all these EXP agents posting all this incredible stuff? Why are they so excited to be here, right? Or be there? And that's creating a lot of curiosity, to the point now, this is where having your database is so important, and communicating with your database and drip campaigns. I've had agents I talked to 5 and 6 years ago, like some of the initial agents I talked to, who have now reached out in the last few months and that have now joined EXP. Okay. So I think there's something to be said about the market. Gene Frederick actually said it best on a call with him. And when I was on a call with him, he said he's been waiting for the downturn in the market, because that's when team leaders, that's when independent brokerages really start feeling the pressures of the overhead that they've created, because nobody ever thinks it's going to stop. So they go get the bigger offices. They start putting more ad spend in. They start getting all these other tools that, to make their agents want to stay with them. And then all of a sudden the market slows down. Guess what happens? Those recurring bills continue. Right now they're going, okay, how do I compete with what EXP has to offer? How do I keep my top agents? And agents right now are probably some of the most, I want to say this in a delicate way, but they're wanting more from their brokerages and their brokers. They want more than just their monthly or quarterly trading. They want to be able to access 80 hours of live weekly training, have access to expensive CRM systems, and be in a network and be in a ecosystem that's very collaborative. So I think that's one of the main driving factors, is the market itself and the pressure that team leaders and agents are feeling if they're running a team. And then looking at what EXP has to offer is a really good solution.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, of course. Of course. I'm going to say we are going to be putting together a little fun program for 2024 for the first 6 months. As you guys know, that the EXP Con is in Miami. We're not going to be publicly advertising it, but is everybody familiar with the Accelerate program?
Okay.
Some hands should be going up. Yeah, so Accelerate program is if you bring on a new agent, the first 3 tiers are open.
Yeah, for 12 months, right? For their first 12 months.
12 months. Exactly. This is extremely powerful. Now, when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Okay. But we've had agents now, since it's launched, just in the last 2 months, okay, or 3 months, who are now at may like got a check for over $3,000.
Wow.
You get a random deposit put into your bank account as an agent who just left Remax or Keller or Century 21 or wherever in your first 90 days, and you get a revenue share check. I don't care if it's $13, let alone 3,000. But you get some money that you don't know where it came from deposited into your account. That's pretty exciting. Okay. And so we're actually leading with this, and I was watching some of Jay Kinder's stuff. Obviously, you guys probably obviously know Jay Kinder, going through some of his training in the Build 2023 stuff on RevShare. And he said, I don't consider myself to have attracted an agent unless they bring a friend. I found that so powerful, right? Because we always focus on trying to bring that agent over. Sure, that's fantastic. But if the mindset is that, hey, I'm not done until you've introduced a friend, who do you think wants to see this with you at your office right now? How exciting is that, right? Because then it becomes more of a team thing, right? And they do it together. So it is the Accelerate program. If you can get a couple agents, even if it's $200 in rev share, somebody closes their first deal and they just get a taste for it, let alone 6 months in or a year in. Guess what, guys? This is probably one of the smartest things that the company's done, is opening up those 3 tiers, because you want more after. Right. You want to start building, you want to start talking to agents. And when it's genuine, it's like, hey, this is real. Like the money's actually in my account. I can go buy stuff with it. Guess what? They naturally start talking to other agents.
Yeah. Tasting that success earlier or sooner rather than later is definitely going to change the whole game.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And you know what, what I've been telling people, and this is for for everybody who wants to build revenue share, okay, in a big way, or is people who join who want to build revenue share, I always tell them to take it down a notch. Okay. And this is something that I always thought I would never, ever say. Okay. But what I found is that the agents who have been consistently following a game plan and have a strategic business plan in place where they time block an hour or two every single week for a year, compared to somebody who comes in and tries to call everybody they know in the first 2 weeks of joining, and then they start getting questions asked to them and they can't answer anything because they don't know anything. Consistent action trumps hard work all day long in agent attraction. It's all about consistency and time. That's all it is. So if you time block an hour a day, get into your CRM Grow, get into an agent attraction mastermind call, get plugged into other stuff that we're doing, other stuff like just there's so much out there. Just get plugged in 1 to 2 hours a week, make your master list, make a phone call, and get very, very good at inviting. If you get very good at inviting, you'll become hugely successful in revenue share over time. And guess what? You might bring 10 agents, 9 won't do anything. 9 won't do agent attraction, but you'll get 1 agent who gets it. And sometimes I have agents on my team 3 years in the business who went from 2 FLAs or FLQAs to over 25 FLQAs in 12 months. Why? Because they were finally ready they believed in the company so much that it was natural and genuine from them. So that's why that kind of leads into events. If you're not going to the events, please get to the events. Jeff, I'm not being a hypocrite. I happen to have missed the last 2 events. Okay. but they were for very, very good reasons. And I had my tickets, I sold them for other reasons. So, but get to the events. You will network with people, you collaborate with people, you see where the company is going, and your belief system, your belief in the company will just skyrocket. And when your belief level is up here, you just want to share it because you believe in it. And so if you can keep that tank full up here over a consistent period of time, while time blocking and following and duplicating what people have done before you to get where you want to go, because they're where you want to be, there's no way you can fail. Right now, last thing, because I know you guys are at the end of this tail end of this meeting, and I could go on for hours. You guys know I can talk for a while, but if you want to replace your transactional income with revenue share, you can do all the training in the world till you're blue in the face. But you have to make a mental commitment to yourself to actually do what's going to get you there. Attending the trainings helps, you know. Attending the training is like, you know, putting gas into the vehicle. Getting to the event is putting gas in the vehicle. Setting up your CRM grow, making your list is putting gas into the vehicle. But nobody will see that your passion for this company unless you call them or text them or touch base with them and get them to the materials and invite them out, right? You have to invite them out to see what we're doing. So, yeah, we got lots of cool things coming on again in 2024. I'm not going to go through all of them because you're going to get a blast email with a bunch of our stuff, but we're going to be doing live weekly webinars again. We're going to be doing live 95.5 agent revenue share training system presentations for our whole team weekly so people can get plugged in. When new agents join your team, depending on what tier they are, if they're in our tiers, they're going to get an automatic email from us 5 days after they join, because obviously you get a lot of emails when you first join. It's going to be a welcome video from us. It's going to be our PDFs. It's going to be links to the Facebook group. It's going to be all automated with a full follow-up text. If you don't have that going on right now and you have a team going, then please, I'd be happy to share with you what I'm doing. We have agents watching our welcome video every single day as agents are joining our team and reaching out saying, hey, thank you so much. I haven't even heard of you, but I appreciate you reaching out. This is truly a collaborative company, and I look forward to reading your book. Don't even know where they are in the world, right? But again, it's just showing that collaboration and next level stuff. So 2024, guys, is going to be a breakout year for us. You're going to see a ton more support from us. Already told Jeff, I'm going to be flying around like crazy. We're going to be doing in-person events. We're going to this is the time to put the pedal to the metal with agent attraction, in my opinion, because of the way the market is. And we are super, super excited. We're here to support you. So thank you for having me on this call.
Thank you so much, Matt. That's all exciting information. I love the momentum that you guys got going as a team, and you want to share that with all of us. The new Facebook group is awesome. I got your email, weeks ago. So I joined right away. So those of you that aren't in there, make sure you go in there and hit join. And thanks again, Matt.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's wrap up.
Yeah,
Of course. And of course, you guys have any other questions before I sign off? Feel free. This is a great time. And if not, I'm going to put in the chat here, I'm going to put my Calendly link as well as my cell phone. And so feel free to shoot me a text. We're just here to support. This is my full time. This is what I do full time, right? So whatever I can do to help, I'm here.
Hey, Matt, I got a quick question for you. So just the last couple months at the end of our Monday meeting, we've been doing some just kind of reviewing goals with agents that want to do agent attraction. And one thing that I've kind of focused on is our goals have to be reasonable for what we can do and what we can control. Such as, hey, I'm going to bring in 5 new agents next month is not always a reasonable goal, because we can't control the outcome of, their situation. So if we have, say, maybe 1 hour a week to work on revenue share, what is the goals that you help your agents that you talk to on a regular basis? Of what kind of goals do you set? Like, I've got 1 week, what should I be doing, and what is reasonable for that 1 hour?
That is, first of all, Eric, good to see you. I didn't see you before on the camera. So, yeah. Okay. Really good point. I could go into a whole detail, into a lot of detail with this, but I'll start out with this. I started not believing in goal setting anymore. And I know it sounds crazy, but I'll share with you why. when we put goals of say 3 agents a month, 5 agents a month, or say 40 agents in a year or 20 agents in a year, we have that end goal and end vision of what it's going to be. So then you typically break it down by months. So say it's 24 in a year. Oh, we need 2 a month. What happens if you miss that year, month 1? That means I feel like I have to get 4 in month 2. If I miss month 2, that means I need to get, 6. Oh man. And you start falling behind, people fall off the wagon. They go, maybe, and in your mind, you just kind of push it back to the back burner. Even though you should not, it just goes there because you feel like you're already losing and you're way too far behind. Okay. So what I've done with my team in a training that I'm actually going to be recording, but I'll give you the Coles Notes version, and say, okay, we know that we want to do, say, 24 new agents in 1 year. How do we do that? Okay, we need 2 agents a month. Okay, perfect. So out of those 2 agents a month, how many calls do we have to make? How many connections do we have to make? Okay, out of how many connections, how many 3-step business evaluation videos or invites do I have to get out there in order to get one person to actually show up and get the information? So we break it right down to, what does it take out of the 10 agents you talk to? Do you get 1? Do you get 2? Do you get 4? Do you get 1 watch a video? Do you get 1 to a live webinar? What is that number based on where you're at? And then it becomes, okay, once we get 1 to watch a video, how many does it take to actually how many of those does it take to actually come over and transition to EXP? Right. So if it's five that watch the videos, that get plugged in, that come to the webinars, that use your upline support for, and 1 joins, then we know that we need to have 10 of those people watching videos or networking and upline support to get 2 a month. Now, it might not be in the first month, but we know that eventually they'll join because they're already locked in. And as you guys know, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Right. And then I work backwards. So I kind of start from our goal. I work down to what it would take in that 1 hour a week. Okay, to get the goals that we want, but I don't focus on the goals. We take that right out of their mind and we focus on what it will actually take to hit that goal, but we only focus on that 1 hour a week. Right. So that 1 hour a week is going to be, in this case, okay, we need to get, what was it? So 10 people to watch the videos. So if we're going to talk to 30 agents to get 10 people to watch the videos, then we need to, in that 1 hour divided by 4, we need to get 2 people in that 1 hour to watch the videos. So I'd be calling, networking, and getting the information out on those to get 2 people to watch a video in the 1 hour or once a week. So once that is established as part of our goal planning for revenue share, then it becomes, how do we do that? And that's where, I know it sounds so basic, but making your list, right? Making your list, setting up your CRM grow. I'll share with you guys what right now. Am I sharing my screen? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I'll share with you what my CRM grow looks like. Right now, so you guys can see how I organize. I know I'm going a little off the beaten path here, Eric, to answer your question, but this is how I organize it to set my goals. Oh my goodness. Okay, 1 sec.
Mhm.
So in my labels here, okay, I keep it really simple. I have my personal Bs and my personal As. And then I have my to be prospected. And we have our team and stuff. Okay. Agents on your list that you don't know too well, they're on your social media, they're on your board, you know them in different states, provinces, or whatnot. Put in their information and put on the to be prospected list. Okay. Because most people have a mental list in their head, who they would love to reach out to, who they would love to get over to EXP. But a lot of people don't write it down. It's just in their head and it stays there for years and years or months or days or whatever. Get them into your CRM grow and put to be prospected. Then if you have 1 hour a day, or 1 hour a week, and we know that we need to get 2 agents, reach out to 10 agents that on the to be prospected list. Send them a text, give them a call. Introduce yourself. Now, I start off in one of two ways in my to-be prospected list. Okay. And these are going to be agents that are kind of in my local market area, or agents I know on my social media, or they're on my Instagram or whatever, right? It's not like just random lists of people. There's some sort of connection there, but they're my to-be prospected list. When I call them, I'm going to focus on how are they doing? I'm doing the introduction. I would love for them to get their opinion on something. We're looking for expansion partners. And have you ever considered coaching ever before in your real estate career? I'm leading with production to find out where they are in their business, but I probably have a pretty good idea, based off their social medias. And on my last call, and I'm going to keep going, then I'll let you guys go, I promise, is before I call them, I am going on their Instagram and on their Facebook. I'm adding them as a friend if I don't already have them. I'm commenting and liking on their pictures. Okay. There's a few reasons for this. One, the algorithm loves it. So after I call them and I get permission to send them some information to put that on their radar in case their circumstances ever change, they are now going to start seeing content from me on my Instagram and on my Facebook that has some agent attraction material on it. Okay. I've also got permission to send them information, which means that once a week, I'm going to be sending them a Life.exp Realty, newsletter of somebody joining or some cool things that are going on with the company. I'm going to keep them in my database. Once I touch base with them, they're going to be my personal B list. Okay. If they show a lot of intrigueness, I get them to my personal A. But there's a whole formula here that we're still fine tuning. But what ends up happening is that because now they're in my algorithm, I've commented, don't comment 2 words or put a thumbs up, comment with some sort of meaningful comment. Okay. And like a few photos and put that in your task to remind you to do so. That agent, now that you've reached out, is going to start seeing your content. Okay. One of the biggest ones, I'll just put it in some of my B list here. So one of the biggest things that we've seen here is and people will unsubscribe, obviously, that I send out. You'll notice if I go to the emails that I've sent, okay, former KWT merged with EXP 90 million volume Canada, because these are my Canadian list. But how do you use AI to build your real estate business plus mindset? I click open and I took screenshots from the EXP class. So in this one, I'm actually saying, hey, I want to invite you to a training on AI as well, agent stand-up. I would love to send you a free guest pass. Okay. So it's not always leading with, have you heard of EXP? What's EXP about? I'm providing value first. And if there's one thing I could say that is I've changed or pivoted my attraction business in the last 6 months, is that I'm earning the relationship. If you everybody's heard of EXP now, you have to earn the relationship before they can. If you think they're going to work with you, you might get the odd ones who don't know you too well. They really believe in the EXP model. They want to align yourself with you. 95% of it is now, can I see myself working with that person? What value do they bring? Do they actually care about me and my family? Will they be there to support me? So earning the relationship right now is extremely important. It also, when you earn that relationship and that trust is built, because you're obviously going in with the best of intentions to help them change their lives, when they come under your umbrella, you're going to be really able to align yourself and be genuine with that support that you're going to be able to provide them. And they're actually going to be more open to agent attraction, because they know you've got your back. You've got their back. Okay. So if there's one thing I can say right now, when you're calling, and people that it's a combination of text, a combination of calling, combination of drip campaigns, but don't go in there expecting agents to just join next week. Go in there with the only thing you do is get permission to send them information. If they watch a video, great. If they don't, great. That's fine. You get permission to send them information, because guess what? Everybody's going to say yes. Hey, I was wondering if I could get your permission. I know you're extremely happy with where you are right now. You have this 3-step business evaluation. This company's exploding. You've probably seen us all over. But I just want to put something on your radar in case your circumstances ever change. Would it be okay if I kept you in the loop?
That's a great script, Matt. That was good.
It's not right, because what it is, it's non-threatening. People are busy. People have families, people have other businesses, people don't have the mental capacity to even potentially explore another option unless they're already right there, which is very rare. Okay, so when somebody's tapped out in their mental capacity just with life in general, putting something non-threatening in the sense that I'm not trying to recruit you, but you should probably learn about this, can I keep you in the loop, is very, very powerful. And what I've done now is more earn the relationship, get permissions, plant a lot of seeds. Because what we've found for agents who kind of hit that rut on agent attraction is that they're going after the same agents who they talked to for years, touching base when they want to get back into agent attraction. They're not seeing any results because those agents just aren't ready. So new blood, new seeds planted, and lead with production. Excuse me. Lead with production, because 95% of agents right now are kind of going, geez, what's going on? My buyers are sitting, my listings are sitting. I know, I'm not sure. I'm sure it's kind of similar to maybe the same market you're in. What are interest rates doing? Everything right. So production, and 90% of agents are still wanting to now sell more real estate. 10% are, they're okay. And they love to learn more about the stock and the revenue share. So knowing your ideal agent, who do you want to be in business with, then gearing a drip campaign between, and I'll share with you some of this stuff. I invited somebody out to 2024 business planning with billion plus producers. Starts in 30 minutes. Business planning, 2 bucket versus 5 bucket income stream. So and you'll notice I'm setting this kind of every, I started again November, every 3 to 5 days, every 3 to 5 to 7 to 10. As something new and fresh comes to me, I send it out. Okay. And then I go to the activity and it shows me if they're opening it. Or they open this email, they didn't open this email, they opened this email. Well, once they start opening and they click a link, guess who I'm calling? See, once you have enough seeds out there, then you go to your daily activity. And I guess who I'm calling? I'm calling my A's and B's who've opened up emails on all today. There's my list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you have 1 hour a week, it's going to take a couple of weeks for you to get this set up until it kind of starts kind of going into momentum. Then you don't even have to think about who you're calling, who you're following up with, because that 1 hour is already laid out for you. It's right in my activity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 agents that I've called. I can do that in 1 hour.
Awesome. I like what you were talking about too on putting it on their radar, because when you remove the expectations of them having to make a decision, then they don't feel any pressure from you. It's like you just told them, I don't want you to come. I just want to share this with you. Put it on your radar so you're aware of it. It's like going to a listing appointment and telling them you don't expect them to sign with you today, but we just want to build that relationship, right?
Yep. Yeah. And what you will also find, I think, is there's a mutual respect when you go that way, right? Their backs don't go up against the wall, and I always start off, I know you're probably extremely happy with where you are right now. Because then they don't feel offended. Because when you get part of a brand and somebody, kind of, especially with a franchise model, it's very easy when we share EXP to kind of take digs at the franchise model with, we know, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Without doing it, it's just kind of natural because it's a different model, right? So when you say, I know you're extremely happy with where you are, RE/MAX is a great brand, great company, but every entrepreneur has to have different options. If you don't know all your options, then you're not really being a business. If you were a restaurant owner in a city, you probably know your local competition, what they offer, what their price points are, and everything. So if you're not doing that as an independent contractor, an entrepreneur in your own business, with what your options are and what vehicle you could put your license on to what's going to take you the furthest, you need to know these things. Can I put something on your radar, you know, if I were to share this video, would you be able to watch it in the next week or two? Would it be okay if I kept you in the loop just by email and the odd phone call in case something really exciting comes up that could impact your business? All right. You get really good at saying that stuff. Now, you don't have to be that detailed. Yes, it's a lot easier when I say it to you guys right now on this call. A lot more difficult on the phone. I promise you right now, a lot more difficult on the phone.
Practice.
60 minutes of practice is good for 1 minute on the phone. Okay. Think about that. 60 minutes of practicing your script. Because it is a script. Now I don't even think about it. It just happens. 60 minutes of practicing is good for 1 minute. So if you're going to do a 3-minute call, your 3-minute, 2-minute elevator speech, you need to practice that for at least an hour or two. Do it when you're brushing your teeth, do it in the shower. I don't care when you do it. You're going to find your own vibe of doing it, but that's by being plugged into the agent attraction stuff with 5% of your time. You're going to learn these things. You're going to be inspired every single week, and you're going to naturally be able to do what you want to do without even thinking about it. You're also going to spot opportunities. Okay. When I went out, I know some agents who, okay, let me start with this and then I'll let you go. I promise. You know, has anybody ever bought, like, say, a vehicle? They think it's the only one. They've never seen it before. They buy the vehicle, they're researching it. They go in the dealership, they get it. And then what do they see for the next 30, 60, 90 days?
That same.
Same vehicle, right? It happens to everybody. All that is the mind, because you're focused on something, it's in your subconscious, you're now seeing what your mind is wanting for you to see. So if you're able to get plugged in, you're going to start seeing opportunities for agent attraction you would not see anywhere else if you were just continuing to do what you're doing. So that's why it's so important to get plugged in on these calls, on the agent attraction, knowing what's out there that's agent attraction specific with whatever percentage of time you want to spend on that, because you will see opportunities right in front of you and be like, oh, yeah, we actually offer, oh my goodness, the Marchands, they do incredible training every week. They just did one on referral business, or they have one coming up with, you know, Sydney or Ashley, and you should get onto this. You should come take a look at this. This stuff's gold, and it's free. You wouldn't say that unless, you know what I mean? So you guys got to see where I'm going with that. So get plugged in, get excited. We're excited for 2024. We're here to support you. I'm going to be coming down to Utah. We're going to be having some fun. I don't know exactly when that's going to be, but when I do come down, because I want to swim in Jeff's new pool, you know, so obviously be in the summer sometime. But we're going to come down, and I'd love to do some in-person stuff, some one-on-one training, some one-on-one goal plan, and really kickstart agent attraction for those who want to do it. Remember, agent attraction is optional, but don't ignore it. Don't ignore it, because people that you're thinking about talking to may join in the next year, 2 or 3, because somebody else has introduced them.
Yep. Matt, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate you jumping on. That was all good stuff. We could stay on all day, obviously.
I know. And you know what? You said 10 to 15 minutes. I'm sorry for going on. I get passionate about this stuff. I love it. So thank you so much, guys. Have a great rest of your day. And anything you need from me, please just reach out.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate you.
Okay.
Awesome.
See you guys. Okay. Bye for now.
See ya. You're up.
All right, I've got to share my screen again. Well,
Thanks for-
Shantae's up. I'm not.
Thanks for sticking with us, guys. I know we're over time, but we want to still be able to wrap up with Shantae, since she was so kind to jump on after her appointment. She was going to miss it this morning, so we switched her with Nate. Nate did a fantastic job, and now, so it says opening thoughts, but we're gonna.
I just switched it. Yep.
Yeah, no, I'm bummed that I missed Nate, but Nate's actually on his way to show my listing. So that's super fun. He has a great buyer, and wouldn't that be fun to work together in that capacity?
That'd be so cool.
Nate, I think maybe you're on the road. Hope you're hearing this. Yeah, so hard to follow up and you know, be after Matt, but to follow back on last week, as most of you know, I was in a 6-day Tony Robbins conference, and so I sent this this snip over to Ashley, And I really liked it because I think it reminds you that there are cycles in our business and cycles in which, you know, we approach our business and it just offers a really like swift kick in the ass too.
Mhm.
So, you know, the last couple years we had some really good times in real estate, and we've heard this. I'm sure just about everybody's heard this in a few different ways, but those good times, they can create weak people. Or maybe you've heard they can create lazy agents. Now I don't see myself as lazy, but I do know that I have to work in a different way and a harder, you know, things are more challenging. I can tell you, while every transaction is always different, I would say every transaction has been challenging for me this year. Every transaction. So I believe there's a lot of truth to all of this. So cycling through, good times do create weaker people, weaker habits. But I strongly believe that those of us here at the extended Team Limitless family, we are stronger people, stronger agents. And we are the people that will stay in real estate and create greater times. So we will create that next upcycle. But I'm curious what everybody's plan is, how they are going to create those great times. What 2 to 3 areas are you going to focus on in 2024? If you're like me, you tend to focus on too many things because there's so many things that you can chase. But what are your 2 to 3 areas of focus? And I think that sometimes people just pick those things out of the dark. But to be a little more strategic, I brought up this exercise that I like to do a couple times a year. And it's really to track my last 10 clients, to write down, if you don't already have it in your CRM, just write down your last 10 clients and write down how they came to you. Were they personal leads? Were they already in your sphere? Were they referred to you? And if they were referred to you, who referred them to you? And that will help you identify the strengths in your business and the gaps in your business. Certainly helps me identify what areas I need to focus on so that I can be more strategic about the 2 to 3 areas that I should focus on to make for a stronger, better business in 2024. So I'd love to hear from some of you who did the exercise, who checked out their last 10 clients. Is that Ashley?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, Ashley and Lynn, who's going
Ash
first?
did it for us.
Just tell me, you don't have to tell me every client, but just in general, you know, like I broke down for Ashley and Jeff what my percentage looks like right now. So Ashley, please tell me, what patterns did you see?
So I did my like own personal one, but Jeff and Lynn also did theirs. So for mine, I just had 5 to go off of. But I had 40% coming from the Marchant group, 40% from personal transactions, and then 20% like family friend SOI was for mine. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But I want to focus more on SOI and grow that, obviously.
Okay. And those personal transactions, were they like friends and family?
No, they're my own personal transactions, just a sell and a buy.
Okay, so did someone refer them to you, like a lender or
No,
another?
it was for my husband and I, like selling our house and then buying a house.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I see. Okay. So you're gonna focus more on your SOI.
Mhm.
All right.
I've been a secret agent for sure.
So anything specifically? Like, what are you going to do to focus on your SOI?
Yeah, just start building back up relationships and integrating it within just like my weekly time blocks to actually be starting to build back up those relationships, especially with people here, because we were in Nevada for the past almost 5 years. So I want to get face to face with people and start working that way.
Okay, awesome. I think I cut out for a minute. Hope you can hear me now.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
you got it.
All right, Lynn, what did your list look like?
So really interesting because you kind of can see a history of, okay, this happened, then this happened, this happened. And what I noticed is when Ash was kind of asking me questions, she went back to where it originally came from, not to where, because some sales originally will come from a place and then they come back to you as SOI. So what we actually did is we went back to where did it originally come from, this client, right?
Mhm.
So referral was 30%, 30% SOI, 20% EXP referrals, and then 10% lender.
Okay.
10% open
Oh,
house.
10% lender open house, another 10% open houses. But
What did our first group of referrals, where did they come from?
the referrals, they came from my SOI.
Like
And-
your client referrals,
What was that?
like past clients?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
So referrals from mostly past clients, but like if I were to look at those that were from an open house or a lender, those really originated there, but that's not, they actually came from like them coming back to me after they bought their house, coming back to me later, or it was a referral from an open house. And the reason why we want to add that open house thing in there is because I feel like there's a lot of agents that don't want to do them. And what I'm trying to say to the hungry agents is go do open houses. Okay, yes, maybe you won't get anything 9 out of 10 times, but it's that one time you do. One of my clients gave me like 7 referrals, and that was from an open house. So it's, don't give up, keep doing it, and look at the success that you and Nate have had and Kim has had just keep going. Like if you look at the amount of people you've seen come and go within our industry and even in Team Limitless, you see it's those that continue to do something that are now being successful.
Mhm.
I mean, we're not successful from stuff we did just 2 years ago. We're successful from compounded years.
Sometimes, depending on our level of follow-up, right? Our follow-up with our past clients and those circulating back to you and our networking, our relationships. Yeah, I find it interesting too, that these patterns, they change, which is why it's so interesting to do this multiple times a year, at least twice, I'd say. But I'm usually very lender heavy. Like I'm usually 50 to 60%. And as my book of business has grown and I've been in the business longer, it changes. And then I get more of those repeat clients and those client referrals, right? It cycles and it just changes, and it helps to ground me and go back. I do want to do a better job at tracking this information so it's at the ready, right? But I love going back to the original source, like you're saying, and then the habits that led up to, such as the open house, solidifying that client.
When I think with the lenders, Jante, is that when there's a lot of buyers, you're constantly referring to lenders, and then lenders, some of them reciprocate. But when you're mostly a selling agent, I'm not getting any I haven't had lender referrals for like 2 years because I'm not constantly sending them buyers. It's just really changed for me. Before, that's where most of my clients came from, were my lender referrals, and then it just done.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm usually about 50-50. But yeah, for me, they're definitely no surprise. I think those of you that know me well, like mine are all relationship based, right? None of mine are from paid lead sources. With the exception of like my networking groups. Those aren't really like classic paid leads, but those are, You do pay to get into the majority of your networking groups. And it is the long game, which is why that cycle like changes out. So for me, 20% were lender referrals. 20% came from other professional colleagues. So I just had a big one from my home inspector. That was a sale and a purchase. 10% this year, EXP relocation team, 20% friends and family, and 30% past clients. So my past clients is growing a bit. So for me, it tells me that I need to double down on my relationships. And my weakness is strengthening my social media. While I have stuff on social media every day, and I am doing the events, y'all know I hate video and I hate being the center of attention. And I think one thing that's so helpful, even if I'm not in front of the camera, is just showing my level of activity. And even taking video of what we're doing that is real estate related. In regards to relationships, I want to specifically continue professional networking and collaborating on events with other colleagues, especially my lenders, because I think maybe Lynn too, this could help with some of the lender relationships when you're primarily a list agent, is to do more and more events with lenders or educational series, which you guys do weekly anyways, but the more collaboration there is, and introducing them to other agents, that's more business than a single transaction, you know? So I'm trying to dig in with my lenders and having some of those deeper conversations and about what can we do to be partners rather than vendors. Because I don't want this one off. I want to be able to really trust you with my clients, and I want to bring you future business, and I would love to know what I can do to earn your business. And part of that is also continuing coaching opportunities for me and staying actively involved in my Pro Insight referral network, which is how I got the referral for the last minute appointment I had this morning. So those professional colleague connections and networking groups work for me. So I have to remember that even when I'm not liking them, I got to stay with them because they bring me so much business. That's what I have. Does anybody else have thoughts on it?
I just wanted to say what an inspiration you are, because you do a lot. You really do. And I've just watched you grow so much. We all have. And you're just, I think it's just super inspirational because you just don't stop. And your attitude is so good.
Thank you. I definitely don't stop. But it's fun too, like when it comes to events, like so I just had my holiday event this Saturday, and it was my 3rd annual. So it's just fun to be able to say it's my 3rd annual. Like last year was fun because it was my first like repeat event, but this year it's my 3rd now. And it's just gonna keep growing.
So cool.
Shantae, you probably haven't ever seen this. I don't know. Can you read that as a backwards?
Tense and obsessed. You are not normal. That's true. You are on a quest and never stop. It's all true.
Yeah. When I read this, I'm like, okay, yeah, you are my people. I've had this on my computer for probably 4 years, maybe longer than that. So when things do get kind of crazy, it's like, okay, yeah, it's because you never stop.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
fun. We can make it fun. It's all about our attitude and our mindset. And we're just so lucky to be able to have opportunities that we do have. Imagine sitting and just watching TV all day. What would we do?
No, no thanks. But I was thinking too this weekend, so I had both my boys helping, and I do have them help a little for every event, but as they're getting older, because they're 12 and 13 now, they're out there helping and giving out pies and doing raffles with my clients at the event, and I'm like, someday my boys might have their real estate license. We might just be the future Marchant Real Estate Group.
Stranger things have happened. Shante, that was amazing. Thank you
So
so
good.
much for sharing all of that. I think we all got good value from that exercise.
Yeah, I'm super grateful that, you know, we've invited people to come share and everybody's really put in some thought and like effort into it. And I feel like it's just strengthening everything as a whole. And so thank you so much for actually, yeah, putting some thought and effort into sharing.
She would never not put thought and effort into what she does.
No, but I do hate being late, so I'm sorry, but.
We got people doing business.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
I know, I'm always big into like, okay, but I always do what I say I'm going to do. But this was a referral that came in like, what it was, Thursday evening, I told you, and the lady is interviewing for, she's not a surgeon, she's a doctor, and she's just getting out of residency, and they fly in whenever this happens, they just fly in for like 1 day, so I had like a 2-hour window. No other option.
It worked out great because Nate wasn't going to be able to stay late. He would have been in his car, so having him start, it was
worked out
awesome.
perfect.
Good. All
I
right.
think based on the time though, we should probably cut you guys loose. We're at 11:43. Wow,
That's a record.
that is a record. A lot of good stuff
Really
though.
good
Maybe we
information.
tried to jam in too much, but really wanted to bring Matt back in to the fold and you know, reintroduce him. He's anxious to plug in and help us grow. So yeah, it's gonna be a great year, guys.
Awesome.
See you guys. Thank you.
Talk to y'all soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Love you
Thanks.
guys. See ya.
Bye.